Hey, unmute that microphone, girl. There it is.
Always takes me a minute.
It's cool. Whenever it's the other way around, same with me. Whenever someone else is leading the Zoom, I always have to find the unmute mic moment, and I'm
And
always
you're like, what? What?
I'm always doing that a little bit. Myra.
Give me one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Myra,
Awesome.
Fira, fee, fi, oh, Myra.
We're good to go.
Are we? We partying? We on?
Yes.
Is this live? We're doing it live? Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Is it?
No. You remember when Bill O'Reilly lost? He got angry.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And he's like, "Fuck it, we're doing it live." You ever see him do that? Freak out?
No. No.
Oh, I'll send it to you after this. It's pretty good.
Gotcha.
He's like stacking his papers. Like, fuck it, we do it live. Doing it live. Go. Anyway, hello, Myra. How are you?
Hello, James. Doing good, and you?
I'm cool, man. I've been definitely staying busy and having fun, and I was stoked on that article. You know, that was kind of a fun thing.
That was awesome.
We got an.
It's the real deal.
It's cool. It's really. It was very. It's very flattering. We got an email, and she said, Julian said, we're part of this film festival. We read about you guys in this magazine. The film festival is in Switzerland, and they were like, "Could you please get back to us about maybe having your film at the festival?" And then I just wrote back. I just wrote back. I was like, "Where's this article?"
First of all, show me this article.
Yeah, I was like, "What?" And it was cool. It was interesting what information they got and what they had. I really don't know where they got some of their information from when I was trying to decode it. But I was kind of geeked on our pictures bigger than Bill and Ted and Dave Franco's The Rental, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a cool thing. And then when we have a finished film, we'll see if they'll accept the film and stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Congrats, James.
Thank you. Well, congrats us. Mayra Cortez is a returning guest to the Filthy Animals podcast. Thank you all for watching and being here. Mayra was my script supervisor on Filthy Animals, and Mayra is also a photographer in the South Bay. How's your week? How have you been?
I've been good. It's a cold day today in the South Bay.
I run just warm, and I'm always trying to get colder. Kendra feels the same way, and like she wants it warm in the house. I don't. Yeah.
By the way, I saw some of the podcasts with the Ray.
Oh, cool. It was a little glitchy. I heard you saw some of the podcasts with Ray, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Did you like it?
Yeah. I did. I mean, it's amazing that he's got stories.
Yeah.
He's got amazing stories, and it just makes me more excited about you making a movie about him, because I feel like there's a lot to cover.
Yeah, definitely. And he wrote me this morning. I'll share it on this because I'm proud. Fuck it. I'm sharing it. James, I'm humbled by this podcast. Wow, so personal. You are great. Love, Ray. So I'm also glad he's happy with it, because he says a lot of very he's very comfortable with us, which could be a good thing and a bad thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was just a good thing. How's the gigs been for photography? What have you been shooting lately, and what camera do you like to shoot on, and what's your favorite preference when you do photography?
The camera that I have right now is a Canon 5D Mark IV. I just recently got it.
I'm glad I asked.
It's a beauty.
Yeah.
It's a beauty. Yeah, I just got it. I want to say about a month ago. It's an amazing camera. Lately, I've just been doing portraits. I've been trying to learn a bit more on how to do the video aspect, but I'm still learning. all the proper settings. It's definitely not the same. But yeah, I'm still doing. I want to do like at least one shoot per week.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's going.
And you prefer to do portraits, correct? Like of humans? Do you like to do animals, or do you like to do locations? Like what do you prefer to shoot?
I mostly like people.
Sweet.
I like to shoot people.
Really?
There's a bit more depth.
Yeah.
Than like a landscape or something.
What do you, if someone's really stiff, or they have like, what, I don't know what the man version is, but like, like a man or a woman that kind of has like a resting bitch face, or they're just kind of grumpy. What do you do to tell someone when you're shooting them to liven them up a bit?
It does happen very often where if it's somebody's first shoot, they're not really posing right. They look very stiff. They don't look natural. So most of the good shots that come from that are the ones when they're not posing. When I ask them to maybe switch into something else, and then while they're switching, do the shot. But yeah, I'll tell them to tell me a story and just like start shooting.
I dig that.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked is I was watching a film and doing some of the behind the scenes for the podcast, and I was covering this film called Blue is the Warmest Color, and the director had 800 hours of just footage. And the reason why he had just so much footage is he would keep the camera rolling between takes. And with the lead actress, most of her reactions and responses are her just between takes.
Yeah.
And just how she's kind of carrying herself, and it's very natural. So
it is.
That's I really dig that. That's awesome. And then what kind of lens or lenses do you prefer to shoot on?
I'll either use the 50, or I also have a 24 to 105.
Fuck yeah. All right. Yeah, so you're getting it. You have everything covered with those two pretty much. You have all the range.
Think so. Maybe just a wider lens. But,
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Definitely for portraits, that seems like a great. That's.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what you need. And then, are you lighting everything?
Yes.
Fuck. So are you having fun with like, dividing, highlight, low light? More hero, more villain. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? It just really depends on the person. What type of vibe you get from the person. But yeah, it's tricky. I'm no expert with the lighting, so I feel like I still have a lot more to learn.
Cool.
But I know like enough.
Yeah. No, I've seen your work, and I agree. And I will leave a link down below if anyone wants to contact Mayra for photography and getting their portraits done. Mayra, when you were a script supervisor on Filthy Animals, what was your daily task like? What did you have to do every day, and what was it like to have me as the director? I was here about
you were great. You were great. I definitely felt that you definitely gave me the freedom to work. I would say, yeah, I think just making sure that the lines were on point. Yeah, I think that was the main thing.
Yeah.
The lines.
And then to add, I also think it was really important. You were really big on the blocking too, reminding them if they're picking the drink up with their right hand, and then next time around there's little continuity issues. I think you were really on point with, and you were definitely like in a good way, okay with being confrontational, letting somebody know if they were fucking up, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing that I was unsure of, where how much freedom do I actually have? When am I crossing a line? When am I, maybe not saying things nicely? I don't know. I think it was trying to find that balance.
I think you did great. And I saw you not casually, I saw you over time get more comfortable, which I just encouraged. I thought it was a good thing, everything you did. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite day on set of Filthy Animals?
My favorite day. I think it would be in oh my god, I forgot the characters' names already. Where
Bella, you got Bella, Lars, and Freddie. And my bad, I didn't tell you I was gonna hit you with this. We're here to talk about
yeah.
films. My bad.
Definitely the day where we shot Ray with Lars.
Oh yeah. That was a really heavy day. Yeah.
I think that one was amazing. Just the intensity of the scene.
I got to watch some scenes this week edited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool, very emotional, and like it was just heavy. It was a trip. The first time I watched it, I put the phone down and walked away and just kind of like kept myself busy and did something else, and then sat down as like a viewer and watched it, and I was like, okay, it feels like a movie. Okay, it's like good. Mayra, what was your least favorite day on set of Filthy Animals?
My least favorite day. I loved all my days on set, but maybe just because things didn't turn out the way we wanted them to turn out, I would say the swimming pool day.
Cool. Which actually the shot worked. It does. I'll send it to you later. It works, and yeah, it's a trip. You cut on it. And then the reason why we knew something didn't happen all the way, I'm kind of talking code, we had Greg Browning come over, our ocean videographer, and we got Lester's POV. We're filming in the pool. So we have like the pieces to the puzzle to make that scene work.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that shot does work, by the wide, by the, by the St. Chris, the St. Chris, or the St. Francis.
Good to hear.
Yeah, it's cool. It worked out really good.
Yeah.
We are here today to talk about two films. We are here to talk about Minari and I Care a Lot. I would say, which one do you want to start with first, or should we start with the good or the bad? I should probably say.
I would want to start with Minari.
Cool. You got it. So the good.
Well, those are your words.
I feel very comfortable talking about I Care a Lot with how much I don't care a lot for it.
Yeah, I just feel like with I Care a Lot, I would probably have a bit more to say. So I'd want to wait until the end.
Cool. No, for sure.
For that one.
We're talking about a film right now that is available at drive-ins. It's available to rent on VOD for about $20, I believe. This is a film that came out in 2020, but it was just released. This is about a Korean film that starts a farm in 1980s Arkansas. This is written and directed by Lee Isaac Chung. This is starring Steve Yen, Yeri Han, alans.kim, and Noel Cho. And also, we have Will Patton as Paul, which was just like a great role. I couldn't believe how awesome he was. But yeah, we're talking about Minari. We are talking about Minari. How did you watch this film, Mayra? Who'd you watch it with? And what were some of your impressions on the film?
I watched it at home by myself. And the impression overall is that it's a very simple story, but it's told very well. And I like that it didn't have that kind of Hollywood dramatic where something that you really don't believe could happen happens. It's very simple. It's modest. Yeah. So I think that's kind of like the impression is that it's a very real story.
Yeah, definitely. Did you watch this solo?
I did.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Were you taking notes while you're watching it?
No, because I feel like that would take away from the experience.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do like doodles, I like I kind of write in the dark. Sometimes I look back on my notes to rewrite my notes. I'm like, what did this say? I just have a couple like talking points I make sure I want to address when we discuss the film. And I try to like write it down in order, kind of A through Z. So when the conversation flows, or if we go through the film, I can kind of keep it in order, building up to the end, even knowing the ending is awesome. And I could probably jump to that right away. I saw this with Kendra. We saw this, not too long ago. We rented it in the living room, and kind of watched it. I was very pleasantly surprised with this one. I'm really happy with Steve Yen and the roles that he's picking. He went from being the Glenn Walking Dead guy to now, in my opinion, he's the guy from Burning and Minari. I think
my thoughts exactly where with his character with Glenn, you don't really remember his character as being this amazing character. Yeah. And I feel like that's not a jab at his acting, but it's more of the limitations of his character that we see him now in Burning.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh wow, he's great.
Yeah. He was really cool. I thought he was really cool in Burning. I thought that was a really cool role for him, and a great film. And then just like really good choices. That's just really good role choices. This film was produced by Plan B and A24, which is like now the official stamp of like high quality independent filmmaking.
Definitely.
At like a really top elite level. The cinematographer is Lachlan Milne. He's the same guy from Hunt for the Wilder People, Love and Monsters, Stranger Things. And I love the way this was shot. In the opening scene, when we're getting the child's POV in the car as they're kind of driving around, and then we see the house as he comes in, I immediately knew we were like in good hands. Like it was just quality every frame. I like when you can make something that's, let's say it's in the 80s and like a timepiece, but it's so isolated. It doesn't have to necessarily affect your budget. You're not recreating these giant sets and locations. This was a $2 million budget, this film, which is, I think it's so cool. It's such an intimate shoot for it to be that budget. And then for me, it was really heavy because I lost my grandma a couple months ago in December. And so the grandma-grandson relationship is heavy. It's heavy, man.
Yeah, it's very cute, but I think it makes it a bit more special that it involves the oldest and the smallest.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely adds a bit more to it, that they're so far apart in age, but yet they connect.
Yeah. I think they both are like in their own ways and stubborn in their own ways, but then that kind of almost eventually gives them that bridge to kind of connect. Who was your favorite character in the film, that you enjoyed spending time with?
I think it was Steven's character.
Rad. Yeah.
Yours?
Was going through it, man, and I think that was such a cool choice to give him a red hat like that.
Why?
For a color palette, we're in nature, so we're gonna get green, we're gonna get trees.
So it stands out.
Yeah, just like your sweater right now. It looks very nice. It stands out. It's very sharp. It makes it very sharp on the image. I don't see any hidden messaging between red and danger or red and love. I just think it was a really nice aesthetic choice to show this man farming. In the film, the very first guy that was casted was the character of Paul. And he's the man that's like dragging the cross. He's the religious kind of crazy friend. And Will Patton, have you ever seen Remember the Titans?
No.
He was the coach in Remember the Titans. He's the assistant coach next to Denzel Washington. I've always really enjoyed him. But in this film, when they did casting, he was the first guy they casted for this film, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice,
Yeah. I feel that we don't really see him that much in the film, but when we do, he's great.
Oh, well, I kept thinking like, I don't know if my head's all messed up, but I just kept thinking like, what's he gonna do to this family? Like he's crazy, you know? Did you get that at all?
I kind of started to think that way, like, oh, he's going to cause trouble in some way. But I think it was more that he was also kind of an outsider in that town. So then he got to connect with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this film is based off of the director's childhood. And like Steve Yan is his father. And his father had a best friend that was just like Paul, the kind of crazy, you know, little loony. I really dig that scene though, where he's like holding the cross and he's like walking with it.
Yeah.
And he's all cool and they leave and they kind of leave it where the boys POV kind of stays on him as he kind of watches.
Turns back. Yeah.
I thought it was a really cool scene. My favorite character is it's like a tie with the boy and the grandma. I'm very impressed with the boy as an actor and his charisma and what he was able to do. And then also the wife was really rad. I thought she played her scenes really subtle, but yet like her face can say a lot, you know, with her body language and how she feels about certain things.
Yeah, I think that the mom and the daughter were a bit more subtle characters.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what's the boy's name? Remind me.
Oh,
David.
Okay, so we have if we're not talking actors, we have the dad Jacob, the wife Monica, David. Go ahead.
David. That one scene that I do remember is that I think his mom kept calling him my handsome boy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the grandma calls him my strong boy. And his face was a little bit like shocked, like strong, but like why strong? I have a heart condition. So I liked that scene where we see his face, where it's that kind of confusion and then kind of the acceptance of it.
Yeah.
And I really, really like that scene.
Well, she's so in the beginning, you could understand why this kid is like, fuck this woman. Like this woman's mean and she's making fun of his pee-pee broken.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
You're like, dude, chill on it, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Kind of jumping ahead a little bit, or no, we don't need to jump ahead. A moment that I really liked, I had written it down, is you know, I've seen, you know, my mom be in relationships or things through the years where I've seen couples fight, you know, in my personal life. I love that idea of making a paper airplane and throwing it at them while they're fighting. That has these notes like stop fighting, you know, like love each other, give them a hug, you know, be nice. Mm-hmm. I enjoy moments that are like show, don't tell. You don't need the two kids like crying in the closet and, you know, instead it's very, I thought it was very cute and a really good message, and how innocent kids could see things, you know?
Yeah, and it's nice that they found a way that would lighten that situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah, it's a hard subject matter, you know? What was your theory with the whole ending and the grandma, the nighttime scene, the night before grandma has a stroke, and like the whole ending that we got? You know, do you have theories or anything like that with that kind of? I have one. That's why I'm kind of curious.
Theories?
So I'll just say, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Or was it as clear as it was or not? Is this like something that I'm running with? Secretly, it's like the grandma took his disease, right? Subconsciously, like.
Oh, you know what? I had not even thought about that.
Okay, it's the same
That's
night.
Great.
Okay, I don't know if it's like, I didn't know if it's on the nose or it's like low key.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they have that night. There's the storm. Let me get my notes on it. The heaven speech when she's yelling to God about heaven and protecting this boy. The next day she has a stroke. And then within those couple days, they take him to the doctor's appointment and the hole in his heart is gone. The disease is gone. And so I think the grandma took that on for the boy.
Man, I completely missed that. That is a really good theory. I hadn't even thought about that, to be honest.
I don't know, but I'll just say it. I was sitting in puddles when the movie ended. I was emotional. It was a really good film, you know.
But your theory actually does make sense because the boy was wetting the bed.
Yeah.
And then she wets the bed. So I think that would be the connection where she is taking that from him. But I had not even no.
I don't know.
You're right.
There, in the past year, there's like 2 movies where the movie ends and I just look over at Kendra and I'm just like, I'm fuck it, you know. I'll just kind of share this kind of stuff. I'm like a wreck, and it was this film and Coco. Have you seen Coco?
I haven't. I should. I know.
Please just watch Coco. Please check it out. And then you tell me how you're doing when fucking Coco ends. You tell me if you're all right. And try to get the Remember Me song out of your head when that ends. I think though it's fun when you could do like supernatural kind of things low key like that. And really good performances all around though. I think I got a question for you. Did you think the house was, when it was on fire, is that CGI or is that real?
Maybe both.
Keep going.
Like,
I know the answer, so keep going.
Like maybe some parts were real and then they added more to it.
Pick one.
I would say they're real. They
burned that fucking house down, man.
Yeah, awesome.
They burned it. I'm gonna snooze this thing because the previous they burned the shit out of that house, and it was a big deal because I got to do this thing. It's called the American Cinetech, and I'll send it to you. And every once in a while, they have on the filmmaker for a Q&A. And I got to sign up for it with the producer and the director and kind of listen for about an hour as someone picked their brains. And apparently that house lit quick and burned quick. And they had to get the coverage. That was very high stress, which imagine that you and I, we gotta go burn a house. And we're like, this is all we got. When the house is gone, that's it. It's a one take ordeal, you know?
Yeah.
What'd you think of the grandma fucking burning the house down?
I guess, like, I know that needed to happen, but I don't know. I feel like it could have been handled differently. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. When, like, this is a personal thing, and maybe another thing where I text you later and I'm like, do I just delete this? You know, like, let me know. Let's say your parent lives with you, and let's say your parent lives with you, you know, and they're at a stage where they have, you know, really drastic health issues. When is it too much? When do you feel like your kids are maybe in danger? You know, like what's an appropriate window to kind of call it, you know?
Man, that's a tough one because my family's Mexican. And so usually in Mexico, you take care of your parents. I feel like here in the US, you don't really do that. You just put them in some home. So I feel like that's a tough one because, you know, these are your parents. They took care of you. So I feel like you owe them that. But I feel like maybe when you can't be around, have somebody else present to make sure that they're actually not a danger to themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's it's a really tough call. It is. And I do get a kick out of like the circle of life. You know, I like spend a lot of time with my grandma, and then I spend a lot of time with my godson who I watch him every Friday. and it's a trip to see someone that's like barely balancing, and barely, he's like not he, for his age he could walk fine, but I'm saying when I first saw him eventually start to walk, and then he starts to run, and then he's like walking up and down steps, and he's kind of learning it, and then before you know it, he's really good at it. And then it's crazy, we get older and we have a hard time going up and down the steps, and then it's like it's having a hard time to walk around, having a hard time taking a shit, all that stuff. Just like it's just, I'm sorry to be, you know what I'm saying though, but like it's pretty wild. Things really do go full circle, and then we start to like, older people become just giant babies in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a heavy choice. I got young parents, so knock on wood. But yeah, I think okay. I'm gonna hit you with my questions. Favorite frame of the film, Mayra. If you're gonna smack a frame from Minari on your wall, what are you throwing up on the wall?
I think that my first instinct goes to the last shot. Very last shot.
Is it
where
the Minari plant with the son?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the dad, and he takes him to the.
Yeah.
My frame is when she's there with the grandma in the Minari plant. So we're very similar. Yeah.
Okay.
I always get a kick out of use of titles in movies, and like going into it, I'm like, I have no idea what a Minari is, Did you know what that is going into it?
I didn't, but I really liked seeing the metaphor that they are Minari,
Yeah.
So I like that the title works that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you see? It's so funny. I keep getting alerts for the other Zoom link because I didn't delete it. I'm gonna dismiss it again. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear that. That's why. Cool. The first film cost $2 million. Mayra, I'm giving you a budget of $5 million to go and make Minari 2. Let me hear your pitch.
For Minari 2?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at these kinds of questions. Like, I really need to actually think about it.
I was telling
the idea for a sequel.
Yeah. I was telling Kendra. Kendra's doing her first podcast soon with Illusia, and we're doing The Departed. And I was telling her, I asked that question, and she's like, "Don't ask me that. Don't." And I said, "You could say it's a reboot, but we do the U.S. version. It's there's so many different. It turns into a monster movie, and like you can. There's no wrong answer. Either way, I'll probably greenlight your scenario no matter what you say.
I feel like this. Okay. Idea for a sequel.
Do you want me to go first?
I guess maybe. I mean, I feel that the most logical thing is to see them be successful with the farm. But I don't know what else to say.
You're good. That's it. I print, run, go film it, Mayra. I approve.
Green light, awesome.
Green light. There's no. So it would take place like the next day. The film would continue on from where we leave off.
Not the next day, but maybe like a year later, where we see that the farm
it's flourishing.
It's growing. He had, he gives his wife the house she wants, and yeah.
There's a line from the okay, I'll say my it would be cool if we maybe get it 30 years later and Steve Yen is like the grandma's stage or age, maybe not quite yet, and the boy is grown and maybe he has to take over the farm and the Minari plan, and so maybe it's like that big of a jump. I don't know.
See, this is why you are the screenwriter and I'm just the script supervisor.
No. Mayra, you're a ride or die cinephile. It's just a fun. There's no wrong answer. I can't wait till we pitch.
Right.
I can't wait till we pitch the I care a lot to, or maybe we don't say you get nothing. Okay, sorry. I have a line from the mom, and whenever Kendra and I hear like really good arguments in film, we always like acknowledge it. Have you ever seen Phantom Thread?
No.
Okay, it's okay. There's a scene where she's buttering her toast really loud, and the man is annoyed, and the noise and the bite and the crunch like distracts him, from his work.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I could hear you." And she's like, "What do you want me to do?" And then she like leaves and it says sorry. And then she begins walking away. And then Daniel Day-Lewis, his character, says something like, "But the interruption has still stayed, like it still happened," something like that. And we always make a joke like that back and forth. Like one of us asks someone a question and then we're thrown off and they say sorry, but it's like, but it still happened. Like it's still, just as like a laugh. The wife said this line and we both liked it a lot. "Don't talk to me if you're not going to help me," when they were fighting back and forth.
I don't remember the line.
I wrote it down, but it's more fun to think like, imagine you start bickering back and forth with your significant other. But if you use that line, you can't say anything else but something kind of helpful,
Mm-hmm.
You can't say like, whatever. I gotta be careful how I joke. I like that the grandma is competitive playing cards with the grandson. I like the way the grandson eats the banana. It's just comedy. The mom cries about the anchovies. I'm just getting all my stuff out of my system. There's a line in the film: "Never pay for anything you can have for free." I think that's that's cool, huh?
Yeah, but I think you're missing one part with the Mountain Dew, where they call it the water from the mountains. I thought that was great.
That's right. And the fucking kid pees in the cup, man.
Yeah.
He pees in the cup and he runs like fucking far after he does it. I thought it was kind of cool. The grandma steals the money at the church.
Yeah.
She just slips it through.
I mean, it was $100.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
We have some family that's like very, very religious. And, when we spend time with them, we go and we'll sometimes go to church kind of pre-COVID, and they put in good money. They're putting in good money every time. I'm like, you guys do this every week. But I don't say anything, but like I saw them put in. That's pretty cool.
I have nothing bad to say if you want to give that much money, but in this case, they didn't have that money, so they needed that money more than the church did.
100%. And then I tease them later that day. I'm like, I'm making a movie, right? You can fucking help me with some of this. You want to help like, someone in the family closer to you, I'm cool with God too, man.
Exactly.
I think we covered a good bit of this. Just going through last little things. Would you watch this film again? Of people in your personal life, would you recommend this? And like, who'd you recommend it to? What kind of audience?
I probably wouldn't watch it again. I think that the film really doesn't have that much more to offer to watch again.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah.
And as far as recommending it, I don't know. I feel like it could be for pretty much anybody.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you see Parasite?
I did. I loved Parasite.
Do you like Parasite more than Minari?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No question. Parasite, hands down.
Cool.
They're both different, they're both different, but I think that Parasite is a bit more of has more of a story in it. It's not so simple.
For sure. And if you look at both filmmakers' track record, Bong is pretty gnarly with the films that he's putting out.
Yeah.
I think right now, if you were to tell me I have to go watch Parasite or Minari, like right now, I think I would pick Minari.
Really?
Yeah, it must be the timing with like my grandma or shit like that, and everything. I really like this film a lot, and then the only reason why I'm bringing up Parasite and then Minari is these are like the big Korean films that are getting that wide distribution, and they're completely different stories and themes. But overall, I wish I saw Minari on the big screen. I really wish I can go see that in theaters.
Yeah.
All right. Ready to jump to a big hitter or what?
Yes. Let's do it.
All righty. We are here to talk about another film from 2020. This film is directed by Jay Blakeson. That's right. His first name is just a letter. This is starring Rosamund Pike, Peter Dinklage, Eliza Gonzalez, Diane West, Chris Messina. This is about a crooked legal guardian who drains the savings of her elderly wards, meets her match when a woman she tries to swindle turns out to be more than she first appears. We're talking about I Care a Lot. Mayra, how did you watch this film? What were your initial impressions on this movie?
I watched it at home by myself. Oh no. I watched this one with my sister.
What's your sister's name?
That'd be Jessica.
Shout out to Jessica. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh man, I was enjoying it, but then I just didn't. I like the story. I think that it's a very original story. I was already kind of familiar with the subject because there's a Netflix documentary series called Dirty Money, and so it does kind of cover this whole issue with the guardians that steal from their wards.
Yeah.
And so I liked that the story was about that. It's a dark comedy. I like dark comedies, but I feel that the characters aren't really likable. And in the end, you really don't know who to root for. Yeah. So I was very conflicted with that.
Yeah.
It's original. The acting was great, but the characters, I think, were just not likable. What do you think?
You texted me. This is kind of like a inspiration from Elusia's mindset. When you texted me, I watched I Care a Lot. You're like, I don't know how I feel about it. That makes me want to watch it more than I really liked it. When I hear something like that, I'm like, oh, I want to know what's fucked about it, what doesn't work, you know? I'm a really big fan of the entire cast. I really like Rosamund Pike. She was in, the big one was Gone Girl, and then she played this grieving mom in Hostels, this really great Western, and I'm just like a really big fan of her as an actress. And I really dig her. I did not dig her in this film. I did not care for almost everything. I gotta be rough too if I'm like making films and we're dealing with people, and I don't mean disrespect, but we made a film where every character has a vice in Filthy Animals, where everyone's got some kind of issue, no matter who they are. They may be presenting something but have something else. I still like to think we gave them qualities that make them likable.
Yes.
I agree 100%. I was never rooting for her. I never cared for her. I always wanted her character to eventually get killed and die. from the way she never hit the pen until the one shot where they're like, this is the one where you hit the pen. It always was after the fact. She never really did it.
I never noticed that.
They parted her hair down like the center. I just, everything about it, aesthetically, personality, the substance, I just thought was shit. I fucking hate, I just couldn't. I was so surprised by this, that why would we get behind her and want her to win when she's doing this to people? I was just really blown away that this was the entire film and the structure. It is an original idea, and it's untapped. What's the word I'm trying to say? It's an untapped category that really no one's really made films about. And you're totally right. And there were some really cool things there that I dug. But when she tells the mom on the bench, you know, I don't lose and shit like that, and like she's trying to word it to her, like, play by the rules, go by the court system. You're not, beat me legally, beat me like this. It's like, your moral compass is so wrong. You should be getting X'd out, and something shady should happen to you. Like, I thought that was something. Okay, sorry. I got to put my phone aside. I thought it was just really weird that we're supposed to get behind her and root for her as if she's supposed to win at the end. I never wanted her to win, ever, 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 ever.
I don't know if the intention was for us to root for her, but she just didn't have any redeeming qualities. She was just a very horrible person. And then for me, I was enjoying the first half of it, but then when it got to the point where she survived what the Russian mafia did to her, and I just thought, oh wow, she woke up right in the nick of time. She escaped.
Right.
And then she saves her girlfriend also. Right. It's like, this is the Russian mafia. You're not going to survive that. So the fact is that I get that her character was that badass character, but it got to the point where it's no longer believable.
Correct.
You know?
Well, and then like, I always trip out when I see this, like when the girlfriend, her significant other gets beat up, you know, they're giving you you don't see her, but you see the guys inflicting the damage. Those are like kill shots. You're
exactly. They both should have been dead already.
Yes. And then it's always funny when they do this in film where her head gets kicked in. They're stomping on her. They're just giving her licks. Bam, bam. And then she's got like the aesthetically shiner, and she's still pretty. She would have hematomas. She would have swelling if she was walking around.
Swollen. Yeah.
I just didn't care for. I really liked Peter Dinklage. If we're gonna go positives.
Yes, Peter Dinklage. Big fan of him. He was great. I just think the acting was good. Yeah. But it was just the characters. I feel like what's the main character's name? Marla?
It's Marla, yes. Marla and
Marla.
Woman.
For me, it was just too much with Marla, where the whole scene with the tooth and the milk, like, look how badass I am. Like, I can fix my tooth now too. It was just too much. It was unrealistic. Also the fact that she would get to Peter's character just like that. Because I don't know if you realize that when she takes out the driver.
Yeah, all that was
in the parking lot. His body is laying next to the van. Right. You're saying that while she waited for Peter Dinklage to come out, nobody in that parking lot saw her standing there with a dead body next to her. It was just unrealistic that she would get access to him so easily.
Right. I appreciate someone that comes across extremely professional and is a total criminal, and they're personable and they can fake it, you know, very pathological. But that scene in particular that you're talking about is another scene I couldn't stand. She walks up to the security guard and she goes, "Hey, where's the bathroom?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's right down to the left." And all she does is just like walks down the stairs. And I know you want to kind of block everything to be efficient, but it was just like always smooth for her. She was never really in a struggle, which I thought was weird. I think she should have I can't believe the ending was they team up. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, when I saw her, I mean, I guess midway, I was rooting for Peter's character because he was trying to save his mom, who is the victim.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I wanted him to win, but then she gets to him. And so I thought, okay, it can't end this way. She can't win. And so in the end, you know, she doesn't, but I felt that, oh, she just didn't, she was a horrible person. And I don't know, it was just too many problems that I had with her character, man.
I just don't understand how. I would have been so happy. Did you see Uncut Gems?
What?
Did you see Uncut Gems?
I didn't. Shun made me not want to watch it.
Shout out to Shun for Uncut Gems. He just made a legend out of himself with this film. It felt like they were going for that of how Shun felt about Uncut Gems is the way I feel about I Care a Lot. They want you to get behind this character and maybe you don't even want to spend time with them in the first place. And that's kind of how I feel about this situation.
Because I feel like there are villains that we want to root for, that we like, but they have to have some sort of redeeming quality to them. Something. And the character of Marla, she was just a horrible person all around.
She's sitting on the, oh, so I'm sorry, you go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also the part where Peter tells her that he knows where her mom is, and she's like, oh, I don't care about my mom. It's like, okay, well,
I know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're just a super tough person. It's just
from a writing perspective, I would love to ask the director this question. When she's like telling the Diane West's character, Jennifer, the mom that's in the home, about how she doesn't lose, and this is the clip that they're kind of advertising for her to get nominated for this fucking film, Rosamund Pike. I can't believe we're supposed to get behind her in that speech after she's taken this woman from her home, put her in a car, said, I'm your new legal guardian, locks her up, throws away the key, doesn't get a phone call, doesn't let anyone. How are we supposed to get behind this as if we're inspired by her or motivated by her? I don't know. I was really blown away by this. I was like, fuck this character.
There was a scene where when she gets called a cunt, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, I need that. I wanted like, this is my I Care a Lot to pitch right here. Opening scene is they're celebrating, they're going into business together because they've built this pyramid scheme where they can screw over everyone that's in their 80s and older. And then they're at a dinner party and they're celebrating. And the mom is there. Peter Dinklage is there. Rosamund Pike's character is there. And they're all celebrating. Is like, wow, look at us. We've all come together. And then in the center of the room, Peter Dinklage just blows her brains out. That's the opening scene of the sequel, right?
Yeah.
Am I coming across too angry and upset at this film? Like,
no, I love that.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
I feel that the movie could have been better if Peter actually kills her in the end.
Fuck yeah. Why wouldn't he say, let's team up together? We're going to do and get like 1 month in.
Yes.
Have her take her foot off the guard. Have her drive home and have her look in the rearview mirror. And then she looks in the rearview mirror and it's Peter Dinklage and he's all fucking bang. And then the movie ends. I'm all right.
The fact that, because I feel that Peter's character, we see that he cares for his mom very, very much, right? And so in the end, you're going to team up with somebody that was hurting your mother.
Yeah.
And be okay with that just because you'll get money.
Yeah.
He already has money, or he already had that. So now the thought of more money is just going to cross that out. I felt Yeah. Didn't like that part.
If someone did this to my mom, if someone did this to my grandma, if my best friend had this happen to his mom, this is unforgivable shit. It's war, and it's not. To me that was just such the weirdest writing to me, that they're in her head are justifying that this woman plays it by the rules of the court, and that's her way through the system. And I really liked the lawyer that comes in.
Chris Messina.
You're a gangster, Mayra. You're a gangster. I had it right here just in case. Yeah, I thought he was really charming, really sharp.
Yeah.
He presented that kind of lawyer vibe. And I just thought he was a good character to kind of bring in to kind of help, like, fight this wave of the power, of her character. But I just was like, I at a certain point just wanted to see it through, thinking like, how does this end? Does she get axed or anything? But
yeah,
I just felt like as the viewer, we kept getting like, I feel like I'm exaggerating by using the word violated. We just kept getting slapped. I just felt like we kept getting slapped as the viewer. And where's our payoff? And our payoff is supposed to be they're gonna team up. It's like, fuck you,
Yeah, I feel that the character of Marla, there's nothing great about that character. Like, her character is like, okay, it's trash. Then with Peter Dinklage's character, I felt that in the end, if he would have actually killed Marla, then his character would have been okay. But the fact that he doesn't and teams up with her, then it also like makes his character trash. So in the end, both of them are just, the characters weren't great.
Yeah.
And I understand maybe, the fact in the end that that she does get killed. I understand maybe, I mean, it wasn't fulfilling because it didn't come from the person we wanted it to come from, But basically for me, what did it is that it was just really unrealistic how badass her character was being.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah.
I just want to know, like, I want to almost read up more on the film. Like, what was the intention of the film, and like, what was the goal? Because if I'm sitting in the car and a friend is trying to help my mom escape from this home, and then I have the image in my head that she stopped when she's like 20 yards from the car, that's my motivating factor to get revenge on this woman in a way. Those are the images that I would stay with me, and I don't think I would ever accept defeat or I'm your new legal guardian, when Peter Dinklage is laying in the bed and he accepts defeat. I would tell her whatever she wants to hear in those moments and give me the first opportunity to feel like I'm gonna,
I agree.
Take her out.
I agree. And then what was I gonna say? What I didn't have a problem with is that I guess we don't really get a happy ending because the movie is about this system that's in place that really does happen, where old people are victims of this in real life. And so in the movie, we see it happening, and then in the end, it still happens. So I'm okay with that not being settled and not getting a happy ending from that.
Yeah.
But I think that the one thing the movie could have given us in the end is that Peter's character would have killed her. But it was, I didn't absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
But it was very conflicting.
And then, like, I'm gonna be a devil's advocate to kind of my own bickering. Maybe the director or the team involved that wanted to make this film is trying to say these people get away with it. You know what I mean? Like, these people, that's why we didn't see her die, because there's many people that are every day getting away with abusing the elderly.
Yeah.
Those are my trying to be positive. The cinematographer Doug Emmett was also the cinematographer from the movie Sorry to Bother You. He's done a couple other films. It was shot really nice. I thought it looked really good color palette, good color scheme in that way. I don't know. I felt like it was just trying to be like edgy and iconic, and like, you know, we're gonna make her, you know, she's gonna be such a woman in position of power. You know, she's got a girlfriend, she's got her foundation, she's unstoppable, just a little too unstoppable. She didn't really deal with, I don't know. Anyway, what's your favorite frame? If you were to, from this lovely film, if you were to have a frame on your wall, what frame would you have?
Um, hmm. I'm not sure. I think maybe when we see Marla in her office with all the pictures of her wards.
That's heavy.
I think that one.
That's a great image.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't mind this image on my wall. This one, actually. It's when Peter Dinklage, I think it's his introduction to his character.
And he's doing the thing with the stuff. Yeah.
He's doing a bridge on the rings, and he's like elevated. I don't know if I have it, but he's like,
he's got core strength. Yeah.
He's horizontal. And I was like, is that really him doing it? You know, it looked great. I think it's such a cool image. But that's my favorite moment, favorite image, favorite scene. And then I thought,
go.
No, I thought as soon as Peter Dinklage was coming into the film, I was like, good, I'm sick of getting slapped around. And then it was like, oh, never mind. He gets slapped around, which means we're getting slapped around still as the viewer, you know?
I just remembered another thing that I didn't like is that the people that seem to be working for Peter's character, they're all idiots.
Yeah.
Like you're the Russian mafia.
Correct.
And these are the people that work for you.
They're like idiots too. They're like
idiots.
Like kind of very low IQ. We have no reason why he is at the level that he's at, how he makes his money, where his real power is. We don't ever actually see that, except two guys jump one girl in her apartment. That's it. Yeah.
And then I don't know if maybe I missed it, but do we know exactly what he was doing? Because there is that one clip where a guy tells him that the girl's crossed. So is it drugs? Is it diamonds? What? They're mules, but what is his business?
Yeah. I don't know, but I couldn't even believe he was like, let's split the diamonds. Let's just split them. All this.
Exactly. It's like, no, this woman. Oh yeah.
So we really liked it. We really liked this film. I think that just really shows it's been a year with COVID where this movie's getting as much recognition as it's getting. I think this is a weird one to get this much attention, personally.
I mean, the performances were good, but yeah, just the characters. I wasn't a fan of the characters.
Yeah, not feeling it. Oh, I'm getting a FaceTime call from Pete Larney on mushrooms again.
What are the chances?
I was like texting you. I'm like, I think Pete's on mushrooms. And then he's like, and then before I could send it, I'm on a lot of mushrooms.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Did I ask you questions last time you were on? Like, what is your favorite word and things like that?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right, we covered that.
That was Pete. Yeah.
Did you answer too?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
okay,
we
good.
did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
We took turns.
I got one question I added to the list since then that you haven't done.
Okay.
If you're comfortable sharing, like a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year kind of goals, you know, personal goals. If you feel comfortable sharing, you know.
This is maybe a shorter one, but I do want to do just a short film.
Yeah.
I have several ideas in my head. I'm just horrible to actually typing them out. But yeah, just a short. I don't know if I actually want to do a movie. I feel like that's more you. But I definitely do want to do like shorter stories. Short films.
Anything I can do to help. If you want me to see the writing or talk about like pitches, I would.
Yeah.
I'm I'm at a place where I think there should be more female directors telling stories. And I really appreciate the woman's perspective on certain stories and on all in general. Yeah, fuck yeah, Mayra. So hit me with the pitch of, in 1 year, you maybe hope to lock in a couple scripts that you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
3 years, you've shot one of them.
That sounds about good.
Is it?
That's a good timeline.
I'm gonna follow up. I'm looking at my watch. I'm gonna
Please
follow
do.
up.
Please do, because that way I will feel pressured to
I
do
think
so and actually like do it.
One of the biggest things, and it sounds really kind of cheesy or cliche or whatever, is I think the biggest thing is saying it out loud and even putting it out there into the universe in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you heard me in class. I'm like, I only have one scene or a frame in my head, and I'm like, I gotta make a movie. I'm like, you know. So I think it's important to just share it, and then a support system and a team, and so I think that's really achievable. Your goals.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel I want to start doing just some short films. Because I do have just like tidbits of stories that I don't think can be developed like into an actual film, but I feel like they would be good for short films.
One of the biggest things I recommend is let's not have it take place, you know, in space. Let's not have a scene where your character fights a bear or
those are good tips.
You would be surprised. I get a lot of like people that want me to read their scripts, and I'm coming from a perspective of like, let's shoot it. You know, how do we pull it off? It's like, we can't afford that.
No. I'm thinking one location, 2 locations, cool. Just like simple stuff. But what I've noticed is that what I struggle with when I do want to write is that I want to write very linear, like go in order. And I feel like that's my problem, where I want to force myself to write the story in order instead of maybe just putting a thing here at the bottom, at the top. I want to have like a straight structure. So cool. I have to work with that.
Cool. Is there anything you feel comfortable sharing, like a little a mini idea, like or a moment or a conversation or something that you fantasize about seeing on film?
There is this idea that I have of kind of all over the place, but of a killer where he kills somebody, and then as he's about to leave, he starts to hear a voice, and it's the voice of the person he just killed. But I want it to be more where it's his conscious speaking to him, but he starts to think that it's the body, but then he sees that no, it's himself.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It could also be like the narcissist in him that would think, I took his life, so now his soul, his life is with me. But that could also kind of bleed into how unhealthy he is of his like kind of mental capabilities and how he could justify things like that in a way, right? A little bit.
Yeah, just kind of where him facing what he's done, but trying to justify it. And so it's just this conversation with him and the person he just killed, but in reality, it's his own conscious speaking.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Is the voice of his conscious like satire? Is it sadistic? Is it mocking?
I was thinking just a normal voice. Just a normal conversation.
Is he trying to like invade his thoughts, or is he like encouraging what he did? Like, you know, like what kind of personality is the conscious?
I haven't gone that far, but it was just something that I thought, oh, it's going to be like maybe interesting to see that he's not talking to who you think he's actually talking to.
I love it.
Or maybe it is the person's voice. I don't know. It's just the idea of the killing taking place and then him trying to leave that place, but then staying in place.
Which is cool. That could maybe like, and you don't have to respond to these things. It's like that could bleed into the fact that he stayed so long is what gets him caught, or the fact that he stays so long makes like the wife show up or the husband show up, or it puts him into another situation because of him being stuck in that other situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking rad, Mayra. That's good shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
You do know. No, you do. You do know. And I could edit this bit out, whatever you want to do. I think it's really cool just to even talk about it and get stuff brewing, and then you hear a bunch of ideas and maybe no right away, but it maybe built, starts a thread into something else, Yeah,
because I was thinking, okay, just it would be the killer, male, and the victim could be female, and then so the voice starts as female, but then in the end it kind of turns into his voice.
That's fucked. That's cool. That's nasty. Yeah. Is this like 5 minutes, 15 minutes? Where do you see it?
I think it would depend on how the conversation that he has takes place, but I'm thinking maybe 10 minutes.
Cool. Cool.
So yeah, it could be just 2 characters, just one location. So it's doable.
Oh, no,
it's doable. You don't really need that much of a budget.
No.
But I just need to actually get it on paper.
Do you relate to this story because do you not kill people, but do you like talk to yourself as if it's another person?
I think we all kind of like talk to ourselves, right? So what I read is that, I didn't know this, but some people can't hear themselves think. Like they don't actually hear like a voice when you read in your head. And so I thought that was very interesting.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find the article and
Yeah. I'll keep rambling while you find the article. I talk in my head a lot. But I talk to myself as if like, let's say I'm going into a meeting or I'm kind of handling something, I'm stressed out. I talk to myself that's stressed out as the other voice that's more confident, that's like talking to me as if that other person is my best friend and they have my back. Like you're your own best friend, and like giving you the advice that maybe you'd want to hear, even knowing that advice, but it's another person telling it to you. Do I sound like a mental person or what?
No.
And then the thing that I always kind of pictured was going through oh wow, you got it to me quick.
Yeah.
People with no internal monologue. You're onto something gnarly with that. Mm-hmm. If that's related to the subject matter, that's really cool. And that's untapped category with like I Care a Lot and others.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like 18 years old, went through like a really bad breakup and like had the broken heart blues, was like really going through it. And I remember his name is Arturo, and he told me, and it's so funny. He's really, really good, a really good dude. And he and I still keep in touch. It looked like he had a permanent black eye because of how often he went boxing and would box. And it was kind of funny because you would think he had a permanent black eye on his right eye, but then it would be like his left eye or like his right eye again. Like he just always had a brand new shiner. But I remember I was like, she broke my heart. She was the one. I was in love, She did these things to me. And I'll never forget what he said. Because he heard me like being not non-manly or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. He goes, He goes, you need to trick yourself. He goes, tell yourself what would a man, like a man's man, do in this situation, and do that. Don't do what you're doing. It's like, and it went well. It was like good feedback. But I remember thinking like seeing situations or trying to have a moral compass in situations. And I would have conversations where I would tell myself, what do you think I would do? And I would be like, ignore this, blah, blah, blah. What would a man do? Like, what would and then I try to do that thing, or like tell myself, this is the proper way to how to handle that. Am I rambling too much? You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
And not that like, I don't know. Anyway, sometimes I go a little too much. So you talk to yourself in your head, Mayra?
I do, yes.
I do. Share with me one thing that you tell yourself every once in a while, if you don't mind me, asking.
To relax. I'm always very anxious, like something's about to happen. There's no reason for me to think that, but I'm always like on high alert. So I just need to remember to relax, take a breather.
That's really cool, because on set you were like that. You would tell me to relax and like, there was one time I was like bitching and like stressing, and you looked around and there's like all these people on set, and you're like, hey man, everyone's here for you. You should be a little happy. You should be like kind of cheering. Yeah. It's awesome. Like I really like those moments, kind of like reel me in and kind of give me a refresher on my mind. Growing up, I would have a lot of anxiety, and I would draw right here. I would write an R, just the letter R, for relax.
Relax.
So that's really cool. You shared that. And then, sidebar, I remember you took a photo of my hand with all my notes.
With your notes. Yeah. That was awesome. It's like, oops, there's no paper. You gotta use my hand, gotta use my arm.
You gotta get it in, you gotta make it work. That's really cool. Everyone probably needs to relax, when I go to someone that's, working at like the counter or whatever that situation is, I always try to like slow things down, and I'll say like, hi, how's your day? And not just demand like, give me my cheeseburger. Give me my fucking cheeseburger. Yeah. The other day,
I think I think that it's super nice that you do that, because I feel that a lot of people just talk to these employees like they're not people.
Yeah.
So it's nice for them to feel like, oh, you're treating me as a person. Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing is, if you think about how little that effort is to just slow things down and go, how's your day? And most of the time someone says just good. And then they go, how's your day? And you go, good. And then go on with your shit. It's just kind of a trip.
Yeah. It's not hard to be nice.
No, it's not.
It's not hard to be polite.
I'm kind of a dick in my delivery when this happens to me, but I by the end, the person knows my intention. The opposite example is I'll go up to someone at the counter and I'll go, hi, how's your day? And they'll go, what can I get you? And I'll go, hi, how was your day? Like we can't become robots and forget that I just said this question that you're choosing to not answer. Maybe I'm being too like hyper aware and too sensitive to it, but I'm just a big fan of etiquette, or I try to at least,
But I think that maybe it's also kind of a reflex where maybe they don't get that question often, where they really just don't hear it.
There you go again, Mayra. All wise. Wise. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. As usual, Mayra, I'll put the link in the bio for your website.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you would like to share, add, promote, etc.?
We recommend Minari. I care a lot. No comment on that one.
It's okay to have movies you don't like. You're not supposed to like all the movies. I definitely wanted to see the entire film to officially make sure if I just hated it. And I kind of put it on at like 1:00 or something. And I was like, I'll just watch half. I'll watch the other half tomorrow. And then as it was going on, I was like, I need to really make sure I hate this. And just, and I fucking hate it.
I hate it.
Is this dog shit? Yeah. This is shit. This is shit. Thank you for your time, Mayra, and we'll do this again soon. Are there any movies you're looking forward to seeing over the next month?
I feel like I would catch up with the ones that have been released. I want to watch, what's it called? The United States versus Billie Holiday.
That looks really awesome.
Yeah, I think it's on Hulu. So I'll watch that one.
When you watch it, let's cover it.
Yeah.
Not to sign you up for this forever, but until I think you're a great guest to have.
Thanks.
And it's really rad. This is really fun doing these with you.
It's fun.
And if there's any others that pop up, I'll text you.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Until next time, Mayra.
Hi, James.
Hey, Mayra.
What's up?
Relax. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll say this one thing that we could jet here. Brownie, my friend. He was like freaking out, stressing. He and I were battling, kind of going back and forth. And I was so over his shit. I was with Shun, and Shun's like, film me for a second. And I said, okay. and we're in Silvio's shop, and I saved the video because it's so great. And it's Shun talking to the camera, and he goes, "It's okay, Brownie. Everything's gonna be all right." Just like that. Which was helpful. And Brownie was like, "Thanks, Shun." And then it kind of brought us back together.
It's okay, Brownie. Everything's gonna be all right.
That's funny.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon, Mayra.
All right, James. Bye.